Hey guys, King of Charmanners. Okay, so I have some live Love Cup battles here, and it's actually tested, and this team is really freaking strong. Yeah, it's really weird, but it's really, really strong. So, this team features Magcargo. As you see here, you got Magcargo. I also have Clefable and Wigglytuff. Now, the version I'm using here actually uses Rock Throw. I mean, it uses Stone Edge instead of Heat Wave, but I think Stone Edge does a little. I think Stone Edge Heat Wave or Stone Edge Overheat's like good just because you do neutral damage, or just like you still get stabbed, but like you can hit more things. But as you see, pretty generic team, not too complicated to run. It features Charmpit, which is Magcargo, and Double Charm. Now, if you look at the IVs, I actually have a rank 1 Clefable, and my IVs are pretty high for both of these, so I have some matches to shoutcast here, and let's take a look at how we do. Surprisingly, I lose the lead. I actually go against an Alomomola, and I still come back to take the W, which is pretty nuts. Anyways, let's get on to the battle. Alright, so here we got the matches started. As you see here, Love Cup is now available. These are going to go pretty quickly, well, as to be expected of a Double Charm team. So as you see, we get Magcargo into Alomomola. This is horrible. But here's the thing. I switch into Wigglytuff, which is what you really want to do. You want to use Wigglytuff because it moves fastest for Ice Beam. You can bait shields, and you can possibly force your opponent to do this. As you see, my opponent switches in really late. They get this Charm through, but I'm able to get the Ice Beam, so we're going to get this off. We're going to grab a shield. Now, the thing is, what's good is that my opponent switched in pretty late, and I have shield advantage now, and my Magcargo can tank all this damage. As you see here, they're just wiggling me down. I actually elect to save my shield here. Play Rough won't hit too hard for Magcargo, so I decide to just let it get farmed out. Now, I'm just doing the typical 2-shield Wiggly strat, or 2-shield Charmer strat that, you know, is so fable and famous, and you probably have died too many times. As you see here, I go for the Stone Edge. Now, the reason I have Stone Edge is to hit Alomomola. As you see here, it does neutral damage, and then I switch out. So, it's not resisted because of the whole, you know, water resist fire. So, because I'm not using fire, it does neutral damage. As you see here, because I have a rank 1 Clefable, it actually beats out my opponent's Clefable, and I never actually have to expend a shield. It's hilarious. So, IVs do matter. As you saw there, I lost the lead, but because my opponent decided to switch in late, I actually was able to take the match. I think also because like I said, my Clefable is actually a very high rank, so I think it was able to just squeeze out that 1 HP and a Charm for the win. We got Magcargo into Wigglytuff for our second match. As you see, this is a great lead for us. All we're going to do is chuck a bunch of rocks at this Wigglytuff. I'm going to go for the Stone Edge. As you see here, I'm going to try to get it through at the right timing so they don't get a Charm through. They're either going to let this through or going to grab a shield. So, as you see, they let it through and they let it go down. They want their Alomomola to farm me, which is actually a really smart idea. I'm not going to let you farm me, though. I'm going to switch out to Clefable. Now, the reason I'm switching into Clefable here instead of Wigglytuff is because I don't know if they have a Clefable. I don't know if they have, like, they already showed me their Wigglytuff. So, I can probably predict that there's a Clefable in the back. So, I want to get rid of my Clefable because my Wigglytuff will beat their Clefable if it happens to be a Clefable in the back. As you see, I'm going to get a shield with the Psychic. Gonna just charm down, literal charm down strat. Very little strategy here, just all taps. As you see, we're going to shield the Psychic and go down a shield. What sucks is that they do get the defense drop, so as you see here, this Electrode is able to farm me down. That really sucks, because if that didn't happen, I would be in a position right now. Now, the good thing is I'm able to get this Stone Edge off, and I'm gonna hope this Electrode isn't a Hyper Beam Electrode, because if it is, that Hyper Beam will do a ton of damage. My opponent fires off their move, and it happens to be a Discharge. This is actually great for me, because I can actually live 2 Discharges. Wigglytuff is thick enough out of the 2 Charmers to live 2 Discharges. I can farm this thing down, and then I can just charm down the Alomomola in the back for the W, as you saw there. Even if we had simultaneously KO'd, I still have 1 Mon left, so I would have won the match anyways. On to the third match. Now, I think this is the one where, like, I get RPS. This is where the Charm Cup is absolutely nasty. Well, at least if you lose, well, welcome to Rock, Paper, Scissors. We get Alomomola into a Mad Cargo. I safe switch into my Wigglytuff, and this is horrible. I should have switched into Clefable, but either way, we're in a bad spot right now. Scolipede is very, very powerful against my Wigglytuff, and it just takes me out with Sludge Bomb. I elect to let it go because I'm going to send in my Mad Cargo to attempt to farm down. Now, this is going to be an X-Scissor or a Sludge Bomb. I resist both, so I just save my shields. But I can already predict that my opponent is running a very anti-meta Charm team. As you see here, we do get Alomomola back into our Mad Cargo, and this is not a great time for us. We get the Stone Edge off, but unfortunately, I don't think they're going to shield it, and they actually shield it, so I'm like, oh, okay, I have a chance. But my opponent actually switches into their next mon. They're going to break a shield right here, and then they're going to reveal to me in the back that I never had a chance to win, because what's in the back is a Wormadam. Wormadam is a very powerful anti-Charmer pick here. It does have Iron Head, as well as Confusions are going to go off, so I can predict this is an Iron Head. I have to shield, otherwise this will do heavy damage because fairies are weak to steel types. Now, if I get the debuff here, this will be great. However, even though if I do get the debuff, I can get just, as you see, the Confusions are just chunking too much. It's going to get to another move, and I'm going to get KO'd, and this is GG's. As you see, very anti-meta Charm team that my opponent just picked. It was just basically RPS. So, to be aware of that, if you do run this team, you can possibly face those types of teams in this meta. Now, we get the next team. As you see, we get Nero versus Nero V1 and Expert versus me as a legend. As you see here, we get a Metachamp into my Mad Cargo, and that's a horrible lead. I switch into Wigglytuff, hoping that they'll switch into their own Wigglytuff, or just like as you see here, they do. And we fire off these Ice Beams. So we're going to... The reason why I guess I switched into Wigglytuff this time around, because I was like, okay, you know what? I want to get this Ice Beam off. Because I want to actually save Clefable, because Clefable takes resisted damage from my opponent's Metachamp's counters. There's a simultaneous knockout, and just by the grace of RNGesus, I actually get the guess right, and I get the Metachamp into my Clefable. Again, Clefable resists counters. This is probably a Psychic, so I'm going to shield. It is a Psychic. But I got lucky with the guess, but would it have mattered? What is in the back? We will never know because my opponent elects to give up and let me take the W. 4-1 with a very powerful team so far. Actually, that's 3-1. Never mind, I have one shot left. So, as you see here, we get Mad Cargo into a Crustle. This is great for us. I know we basically resist everything except a Rock Slide. And as you see here, we're just chucking a bunch of rocks at each other. Crustle is actually better than Mad Cargo in some situations. My opponent does switch out to their Wigglytuff. I'm going to fire up this Stone Edge, and hopefully I do grab a shield here. If not, it's okay. I do not grab a shield. I switch into my own Wigglytuff, as you see over here, to take down their Wigglytuff. My Wigglytuff, I don't want Clefable taking too much damage, so I sent out the thicker Charmer. And I can expect to see that Crustle to come back in, unless they have something else in the back for me, which happens to be Clefable. Now, this is great for me because, as you see, I will be able to get this Ice Beam off before I go down. My opponent may shield it. They may not. They probably will just to, like, save their Clefable, as you see here. I have shield advantage. I have my own Clefable. So, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually send in my Mad Cargo. So, as you see, I'm going to send in Mad Cargo because it takes resisted damage. And hopefully, I'm going to just do as much damage as I can because 2 shields with a whole Clefable, as I have here, is going to take out his Clefable. Even if they have 2 moves on their Mad Cargo, or not their Mad Cargo, their Crustle, I can still live it. This is probably an X-Scissor, but I'm going to shield just in case. Rock Slide wouldn't take me out either way, and all I'm going to do is Charm down, and that's GG's. Because all that happens is I'm just going to literally hit one more shot, and that would have KO'd even though they have a shield, and that's GG's. 4-1, very powerful team. Definitely recommend running it if you want to run through your sets quickly, and if you have really fast reflexes, you can get 4-1s, probably 5-0s if you get really lucky. But as you see, lost the lead, still came back. Like, you have to switch fast. You do it, you're gonna get results. I hope you all enjoyed that. 4-1 with the Charmpit team. This team's really strong, and I definitely recommend you run it for Go Battle League for the Love Cup.